For today's workout, we're going to be doing elbows, wrists, and hands, little finger stuff. So lower arm. As always, if you have any questions or need any modifications or anything like that, I'll be monitoring the chat as we go. So we'll just go ahead and shout it out, type it in the chat. I'll be monitoring, or you can just unmute yourself if I don't see it and yell it out. All good. So let's see. The recommended equipment is going to be a stick, any kind of stick, broomstick, wooden dowel, anything like that that you can lever against for our elbow work. And then I also have a ball here, tennis ball, just to grip with and kind of isolate. You know, we'll be doing some hand and finger stuff, so anything, can of soup that you can use to grip to keep those other fingers stationary while we're working on our target fingers. Other than that, we'll go ahead and just jump in. And you notice today's setup is a little bit different. I just have my chair. You know, you won't need to get down unless when we're doing some of the wrist stuff, you want to do it on the floor, feel free, but easily can be done from a chair or a countertop. Basically, I'll be using the chair like this just to give you an idea of, you know, what you might want to have ready to go as far as stability for the rest of that wrist work. So we'll go ahead and jump in with our elbow cars and then our wrist cars, and then we'll dig into the real joint specific work. So for our elbows, we just want to move them through their full rotational range of motion. And I know you might say, elbows rotate, what? We all know that our elbows kind of move into flexion and extension, but another function of the elbow is to pronate and supinate the forearm and even part of the hand, right? So this is that rotational component of the elbow that's often overlooked because we're really focused on that flexion and extension. So the elbow car will look like this. We're going to pin our elbows right to our side, start with our arms in extension. They don't have to be fully locked out, but get a pretty decent amount of extension. And the first part of our car, we're supinating our wrists, so turning them, or palms, turning them up and out as much as possible. But think, we're not focusing on the hand, we're focusing on this kind of deep elbow stuff. So we're really trying to drive rotation through here, which is causing our hand to turn up. So think over here, not just in hand. So we're twisting out as we come up into flexion. We'll come all the way up to the top of our flexion. Once you've maxed that out, we're turning over, same thing, deep at the elbow, pronating, and then pushing down. So supinating on the way up, pronating on the way down, and try to maintain that rotational tension. So I'm not just twisting my hand and then coming up, I'm twisting, holding tension through those tissues about the elbow as I pull up, over and down. And then we'll do 3 that way, and then we're going to go 3 the other way. So now we're going to be pronating on the way up. So twisting, coming up, over, and down. So get as much of that rotation as you can, hitting the edges, trying to find that edge of your range of motion all the way as much as you can, twisting up, maintaining as much tension as you can, over and down. So here we go, elbows pinned to the side. They don't leave my rib cage, so I'm supinating, squeezing up, squeeze, 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 finding the edge of my range, fighting for a little bit more, over, twisting at the forearms, deep in the elbow, and down. Palms up, twisting out as I come up, all the way to the top, squeeze, over, and down. One more time, turning out, up and out, up, over, and down. Now we're going to reverse that, so we're twisting down as we come up. So twisting, I'm twisting, up, over, and down, and again. And you can have your palms open, you can have your hands in fists, whatever works for you, over and down. Last one. Palms down. I'm twisting, maintaining that tension all the way up, over, and down. Now we'll go into our wrist cars, which is just taking our wrists through their full range of motion. The main kind of points of motion of the wrist, right? Flexion, so coming this way. Wrist extension, radial and ulnar deviation, so out to the side, right? So those 4 points, connect them into an oval. Get as much range as you can. If your wrists are a little bit stiff, you might feel some areas that want to skip and jump. If you feel like you're not getting enough control, don't keep up with me as we're doing these. Go at your own pace. It won't matter if you do one while I do 3 on the demo. If you only do 1, but you control every millimeter of that range of motion, that will be more beneficial to you than doing multiple. So really try to get every millimeter that you want to control. Smooth movement. But I will be doing 3 for the demo, but again, control, feel the muscles on each side as we move through that motion. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to come up into wrist flexion. Then we'll hold that flexion, move in towards pinky side, hold pinky side, and move into extension. Squeezing all of this forearm stuff back here as I move to that wrist extension. Hold extension, go out to thumb side, hold thumb side, and come back into flexion. Hold flexion, pinky side, into extension, hold extension, into thumb side, back into flexion. And the key is to keep your wrist facing the same direction. So as I turn over, I'm not twisting the elbow, I'm just, right, so my forearm is staying up the whole time. And let's go one more. Up, pinky side, extension, hold extension, thumb side, up, and around. Let's reverse directions. Flexion, thumb side, extension, pinky side, back up into flexion. Good. Out to thumb side, extension, pinky side. So I'm just making as big a circle as I can at the wrist without turning over. And good. All right, so those are our cars. We'll be revisiting those motions in just a second, but let's grab our dowel. And what we want to do, I'm going to show you both options. You have, you can go into pronation, stretch pronation, or you can go into supination, whatever way you feel like you need. Most people kind of lack pronation here, so if you can't get your palm kind of flat to the ground here, probably, right, I'm pretty straight and neutral here. If you can't get to there, like if you're here, you're probably lacking pronation. I would recommend doing pronation. Supination, most people can kind of twist more that way, so you could use that as a quick gauge to see which one, if you don't know which one you want to do. So I'm going to go into pronation here, and I'm going to push it down into a little stretch. I'm feeling that stretch. Try not to feel it at the wrist, so keep your wrist neutral. Try to get all of that deep elbow tissue to stretch. Find a big stretch in there, and you can lock it in. Put your leg on top. Just use a hand, whatever it may be. Using that, what we're going to do is a series of contractions. So our first contraction is we're torquing our forearm and trying to rotate this back up to like the 12 o'clock position. So I'm blocking it and I'm rotating it as if I'm trying to get back to that 12 o'clock position. We're going to do 30 seconds there. Squeeze, try to fatigue out the forearms. Then I'm going to do 30 seconds twisting down this way. I'm not letting gravity just pull it down. I'm actively trying to twist, and what I like to do is put a finger or a hand underneath this side so that I can feel if I'm actually pushing into that. Alright, so we'll go get yourself into your stretch position. Feel that stretch. and start twisting back up, using the forearms, using the elbow, twist, rotate, and strong contraction, pushing up. 30 seconds. Try to fatigue that forearm tissue. Just twisting at the elbow, right? I'm not using my whole arm. I'm not cranking and levering either way, in or out. I'm just focusing on twisting this tissue right at the elbow. We've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stay in this exact same position and push down now. So try to twist down. Feel that deep elbow stuff pushing down. Remember, you can use your finger here to feel if you're actually pushing. Or even try to lift it up a little bit, but resist it by pushing down on this side. Keep pushing. Push down. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Stop pushing, shake it out. We're going to go right into our eccentric work, which is twisting that elbow into the stretch and loading that tissue as it's stretching. So I'm here. I'm going to resist getting twisted back down. So I'm going to take my top hand, and now I'm tensing up. So I have tension here, and I'm resisting. So imagine I have 9 pounds of pressure twisting this way, 10 pounds of pressure twisting the other way. So the top hand is barely winning, forcing me to get into that stretch. And we'll go from here down to here. Should take about 5 or 6 seconds. So we're all set. Set yourself up, nice tension, and twist. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and reset. Big breath, nice tension, and twist. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and reset. If you have a shorter range, like if you're at end range here, that's fine, just move a little bit slower. If you have a longer range, move a little bit quicker. We want to be wherever our end range is by the end of that countdown. So here we go. Tension and go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's 3. And I'm just twisting here again. I'm not compensating by moving my elbow position. I'm just letting that tissue twist. Ready? Tension, hold, and twist. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's 4. Maybe that's 5. I lost count. One more time. Big tension and go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we'll actually hold in that end stretch position. And we'll do one more set. Only a 10-second set now of pushing up and twisting down. So we're going to ramp this up a little bit stronger. So hold. Start ramping, trying to get back to that 12 o'clock position. Strong. And give it your max safe twist here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and push it down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Grab our tennis ball or your can or whatever you've got. We're going to go elbow car again after having trained that. So we're just doing 2 reps here. Twist out, squeeze up. Big squeeze, big squeeze, big squeeze up to the top. Hard twist over and down. Twist just as hard as you were twisting on the previous exercise. Up, over, and down. And now we'll reverse it. Twisting down on the way up. Over, down. One more time. Palm down. Squeezing, rotating down as I come up. Over, down. All right. Let's see. We are gonna go. So we're gonna stay on the same arm. We're gonna get all of our work done in one arm, and then we'll go to our other arm. So we're gonna move to the wrist. Oh, you know what? I have one more thing I want to do on the elbow before we go to the wrist. So I want to do a three position twist. So we're gonna go with the elbow kind of extended. We're going to twist here, over and back twice. Kind of this middle 90 position, over and back, and then all the way at the top, over and back. All right, so here we go. Kind of long, extended. You don't have to have your arm out. I'm just kind of making it more visible. You could still have it down. You could even have it down at your side like this and twisting, whatever works. I'm just going to be here, so long elbow, slight bend, and I'm going to turn over as much as I can. Find your end, fight for more, and turn up. Find your end, fight, squeeze for a little bit more. One more time, over, squeeze for more, and other way, squeeze, find that end, squeeze for more. All right, position 2. Turn over, squeeze for as much as you can, harder, more tension. Over, back the other way. Tension is also in your hand on the tennis ball. Twist over, but most of that twist is coming through the elbow here. Twist hard, squeeze, fight for more. Back. One more time, over. And back, take it all the way to the top. Turn over. And twist back, turn over, and back. All right, now we're going to move it down to the wrist. And for the wrist, I'm going to be set up here. If you don't have a stable chair, you can go right kneeling on the ground. You can't see me, but essentially same thing, kneel on the ground. Find a good position for your wrist. If your wrist is kind of tight, you might feel a better one by turning your palms back towards you, hand out to the side. Then you'd be leaning kind of that way, right? If your fingers are turned out to the side, then I'm going to lean that way to get that wrist extension. So find the best way to get your wrist extension. So that's pulling back. Whichever way you best feel this tissue get on stretch. Find that for yourself. It doesn't have to be the same as mine. Just get that tissue on stretch. And we're going to do the same series of contractions with our tissue under stretch that we did just like with our forearms. So using that stretching tissue, I'm going to try to push my hand and fingers down through my chair, using all of that. I'm sending tension all through those stretching tissues. I'm going to go 30 seconds down, 30 seconds pulling back. So find that underside stretch, whether your fingers are this way or that way. Find your underside stretch. Use that tissue to start pushing down. Ramp, keep it in there, and strong push, 30 seconds, pushing down. I'm not pushing from the shoulder, I'm not pushing my tricep, I'm pushing just through these tissues at the wrist. You're halfway there, keep on pushing. If you feel too much stress on the top side, you're getting a closing angle joint pinch, back out of that angle and you can still get an isometric. You may not quite be at your actual end range, but you're still getting isometric work through that tissue. And we're going to squeeze the other way. So stay in your same position and try to lift those fingers back up towards your forearms. Nothing will move, but now you're squeezing all of that top side stuff, excuse me. Squeeze hard, squeeze, put that tissue under tension, send the stimulus into there for that tissue to adapt, become stronger, become more resilient. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and ease off, relax. We're going to go into our eccentric work just like we did on the forearms. You're going to apply, we're going to start back here, apply a downward pressure just like you were just doing, and you're resisting So you have 9 pounds of pressure pushing down, 10 pounds of pressure coming forward, and those are kind of just arbitrary numbers. Don't think you have to try to push down 10 pounds worth. It's just kind of slightly more force is overcoming the amount of work that you're pushing into it. So that's what we want. So I'm pushing down right now, trying to gas pedal my fingers down into that chair, and I'm overcoming that, slowly coming over the top. All right, so we're going to go 5 of those. Push down, big tension, and kind of come over. 4, 3, 2, 1. Get into that end range, and then reset. Push down, everything tight, and come over. 4, 3, 2, 1. That's 2. Big breath. Pressure down and go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's 3. Last 2. Big pressure down. Big breath and go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And reset. Last one. Big pressure down and go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And, reset. All right. We'll grab our ball again, and we're going to do our wrist car now. So just at the wrist, moving through, and the extension, right, pulling back should be a little bit better since that's the part of the movement that we just worked on. So here we go. Deflection. Pinky side, nice and slow. Gain control of every millimeter of movement. To extension, squeeze that top side stuff. Thumb side, come back. Flexion, pinky side, extension, thumb side, up, and reverse it. We're only doing 2. Flexion to thumb side, extension, extension to pinky side. Back up to flexion, other side, around, and good. All right, so our fingers, what we're going to do is finger cars. So kind of the intro to fingers is going to be our finger cars. You're going to grip the ball with all your fingers, and the working finger will come off. So we'll start off at thumb, and you're going to make as big a circle with the thumb, just like on our shoulder cars or our elbow. Get to the edge of that range of motion. Control every millimeter that you can. I'm going to do 3. Again, if you're having real difficulty, just go slow, right? You only go as fast as you can control, and 1 controlled one will be better than 3 where you're just kind of moving through and kind of just moving it around a little bit. So try to get as big a range as you can, and mine admittedly is going to be, the ring finger is going to be very slow. I'll end up going slower on those because the control just isn't quite there. I don't do these enough, but just go slowly, get as much control as you can. So here we go. Here's the thumb. Taking it around, and you don't have to watch me. Feel and find your own range of motion. It's 2 in one direction. Get as big as you can without anything else moving, and we'll go the other direction. Good, just as big a circle, right? Imagine I'm going like this and drawing a circle with my thumb as big as you can. And we'll move on. I'm going to go index finger, so getting as big a circle as I can. Trying to go slow, not have it choppy going into other areas. And I'm going to switch directions. And to kind of gain control of your fingers or any other joints for that matter, It's just a matter of doing the repetitions, right? It's kind of that biological, non-negotiable. If you don't do it, it's not going to improve. So you just gotta put in the reps. I know that sometimes I'm going middle finger now. Sometimes it's really slow. Progress isn't as fast as we might like it to be, but if you want to improve its movement, just putting in the time. Good. I'm going to go to ring finger. This is my challenge finger here. I got a couple other fingers moving along. I'm trying not to have them come along for the ride. Good. I'm going to move on to pinky finger. And this is kind of the base beginning level of just kind of, the cortical mapping for your brain to connect to your finger joint and kind of realize what can move, what it actually has there. And then if we want to start doing more tissue-specific work, we could get into series like our, just like we did, pails and rails for fingers, eccentrics, right? Tension into that stretch. You could do each individual joint. You can go this way, up and down. So there's a lot more things that we could do. This is kind of just the intro level. We're going to go, and now we'll catch up our other arm. So back to our dowel, we'll take it from the top on your other arm. Get into that stretched position. Big breath, tension, and try to get it back up to that 12 o'clock position. Big tension, squeeze it up. Good. Remember to get it at the deep elbow, not just at the wrist. Trying to turn that whole forearm up and over. We've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stay in that exact same position and pushing down. I'm putting a light finger pressure here that I can push down against. This bottom hand is putting the pressure, and I'm trying to twist down, not just letting gravity pull the stick, but actively twisting and pushing. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. I'm going to go into my eccentrics. I'm taking it up to the top here. Tension and resist. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and reset. Big tension and resist. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and reset. That's 2. Big tension and resist. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's 3. Reset. Big tension and twist. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's 4. Last one. Big tension and resist. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back into our deep stretch. Big tension. Start ramping. Trying to get back up to the 12 o'clock position. Ramp strong. And max safe push for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and pushing down. Max safe push. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly release. I'll set my dowel aside. I'll grab my object here, my tension object, and elbow cars. Twisting out. We're going to go 2 going this way. Twist out. Keep twisting out the whole way up. All the way up, over, and twisting down. And again, supinate, twist out, squeeze, 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 big tension coming up, over, and down. Now we'll do 2 going the other way. So pronate, palm down, twisting down the whole way up, over, and down. Again, pronate, big twist, squeezing down that whole time, big tension, twisting down as we come up, over, and down. We'll have our twists in each position. So extended, twist over, find your end, try to get a little bit more, and supinate, find that end, twist for more. Again, pronate, find your end, big twist for more, and supinate, big twist. And mid-range, about 90, pronate, big twist, try to get more, and supinate, big squeeze. Pronate, twist, fight for more, supinate, coming up top, pronate, find that end, squeeze for more, supinate, big twist, palm up, one more time, twisting deep at the elbow and the forearms, not just the hand, big twist, and over. All right, we'll move to our forearms. Fine stretch on the bottom side of your wrist and your forearm, whatever position works for you. Remember, no pinching on the top side, so back off if you need to. Find your position and slowly using this underside tissue here, start pushing down. Push down, keep ramping, and strong effort. Pushing through that stretching tissue. Remember, I'm not using my shoulder to push down, I'm just using this tissue here. Pushing down, squeeze. Halfway there, keep pushing. 10, 9, try to get it to fatigue. Fatigue those wrist and forearm tissues. 5, 4, 3, 2, stay in this exact same position and try to lift your fingers up towards your forearms. Squeeze all of this top side forearm stuff. Big squeeze. Squeeze, fatigue it out. Make those tissues work. Big squeeze. We've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Ease off of it. Shake it out for a second if you need to. We'll move to our eccentric work here. So I'm back here. I'm going to load. Remember, I'm going to load from here. I'm pushing the whole time, resisting 9 pounds of pressure this way. 10 pounds is overcoming it. And push, big breath, push, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and reset. and big push. Even from the beginning, feel that tension going through. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's 2. Reset. Big pressure down and resist. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's 3. And get pressure. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's 4. Big pressure. And go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that is 5. All right, looking good. I'm grabbing my tension object here. Good. And wrist car nice and slow through your full rotational range. Just take your time. I'll just go kind of at my pace without cueing, and you focus on feeling what muscles are working to create that circle. Right? Flexors on one side, extensors on the other side, just getting as much range of motion and control as you can. And I'm going to switch directions here. Smooth control. And good. We'll move to our finger cars. Start with your thumb at your own pace. Smooth and as much control as you can. Switch directions. And with these cars, just like any car, this one's a little bit easier since you can actually watch your full range, but always try to strive for a little bit more range than you think you have. So if you only go where your mind kind of believes you may go or believes that you can go, you're probably a little bit short of your actual end. If you're always trying to, I'm going to switch fingers, if you're always striving to get to the edge or beyond that edge, if you're striving to expand it, then you're kind of more likely to actually be closer to hitting your actual end range of motion. So even here where you can see it, just try to feel for a little bit more range. Push for a little bit more range. And the goal is not necessarily range per se, right? It doesn't matter how much range it looks like you may have, but it's range using the joint that we want to use without gaining additional movement or range from the other joints. So I'm going to move to middle finger. And once we know that all of our joints can kind of do what they should be doing without compensating in isolation, then we want to integrate our movements. So I know we all like to integrate and have multi-joint movements, but if one joint isn't moving, like you can see when you do your cars, if it's not moving how it should be moving, then when you integrate it, you're having those same type of compensations in the integrated movement, and oftentimes we do it under load as well too, right, with our loaded exercises. So I'm going to move to my ring finger here. Got to do a lot more finger work. Switch to pinky. Looks like we got about 2 minutes. If anybody has any questions, feel free. I'll look for those. But also, we did a wrist extension. If you want, right, you can do wrist flexion, pails and rails. If you want some of that work, we can do radial, right, deviation, ulnar. So you can go stretch this way, you can do work that way. Just a couple options, but the main idea is just getting that methodology of first moving the joint, how it's supposed to be moved, stretching the tissue, sending force on the one side of the joint in the stretched tissue, then contracting the shortened side, which contracts and pulls the other side into the stretch. So that's kind of the pattern that we want to work through all of our joints. Other than that, great job everybody. Hope you had a great workout. Maybe work something a little bit differently than you had before, or got some ideas of maybe how to train some other stuff. But as always, thank you for joining. Nice job. Have a great weekend and see you all next time.